Okay, this video is about the Fieldpiced HVAC guy, HG as in George 3. Basically, in a nutshell, it's a diagnostic tool, a diagnostic slash data logging slash CFM, counter tracker, however you want to call it. But it is a nice all-in-one handy tool. It is great if you're starting out for the first time with it, especially in the AC mode or AC cycle. Now, when I first got into this trade last year, the guy who was training me told me, because he had one of these before, he said, once you really start to learn the pressures, temperatures, and all the like, you're going to be using this less and less, because you won't have to depend on it as much. And he was right about that. He was pretty much on the head. Once I started learning, started picking up things, I started using this less and less. But however, there were times where my brain got stuck and I couldn't figure anything out. So I broke this out and sync my measurements with my HVAC guy, with my S-Man 4 rather, and help calculate superheat, subcooling, verify a few things. And it is great. It is really great. Of course, you have the different modes. I'm not going to go into this, in any length. I want to keep, this video short so I get this thing to focus. Setup and everything is easy. Basically, you can set up your customers, your testing, your data logs. If you have a grant that you're working on and you got a proposal to do, you can. It has a grant feature in there, stuff like that. Check me, for the most part, this allows you to verify that your system as a whole is doing what it's supposed to do. So in a nutshell, let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. Let me have the backlight on there. So basically, the type of AC, you can pick AC, heat pump, what have you, in the type of grant or system information you want to add. Indoor unit, medium device with type, return wet bulb, return dry bulb, and these readings you can either get yourself and enter in manually, or if you have STA2, STA2, no, I'm sorry, SDP2 dual induct psychrometer, in the ductwork, you can wirelessly sync it and get your information that way. And also too, you set your refrigerant, and then with your outdoor settings, you can sync that with your S-Man 4 and everything like that. And you can also add your condenser amp draw of the compressor. And true flow means you have a filter frame that allows you to measure the flow, the airflow, going on at the furnace, and the like right there. And once you finish everything, you hit the output, it'll let you know certain things that are going on within your system. Display feature here, this only allows you to use your screen as a display. So if you have like an accessory head, let's say would it be a temp probe, manometer, what have you, you can slide the accessory head on top, and that would allow you to use this display. Okay, so when I first bought this, and this vane anemometer last year, let me zoom out here, sorry about that. Now, I bought this vane anemometer last year along with this HVAC guy, and last year I wasn't too thrilled about using this vane anemometer with the HVAC guide. As you can see, this thing is humongous with both of them tied in together. And also too, I wasn't getting out of initially what I wanted to accomplish with this vane anemometer. So I sent the anemometer back, but I did keep the HVAC guide. And I'm gonna go a little further into depth here. You can calculate your superheat, subcooling, naturally, it walks through the process, and asks you, does the manufacturer have recommended, subcooling, what have you. The combustion I haven't used yet because I haven't bought any combustion, accessories. But for the most part, only thing this thing will tell you is your primary temperature, your O2, flue temperature, CO, draft pressure, and I believe, yeah, your customer ID. So it's not like really a full-fledged, combustion analyzer. Service light is a device you attach to your outdoor conditioning unit to help monitor the system and stuff like that. Now, one cool feature that I do like about this HVAC guide is the data logger. And for the most part, with the data logger, I can sync up to 13 wireless devices with this thing. Okay, I'm sorry, 12, and then this device here will be the 13th. And let's say, for example, if I wanted to do an overall check of the AC unit, so I can check supply dry bulb, supply wet bulb, and supply dry bulb, supply wet bulb, return dry bulb, return wet bulb, humidity, delta T. I can also out the condenser, check my pressures. I can also check with the AC clamp accessory head, check the motor amperage off of both the indoor blower motor and also at the outdoor compressor wirelessly. I can sync all that information on here, and it allows me to set a time span. Let me see if I can bring that in, that you can see that. Let me see. Yeah, at the very top where it says span, so you can choose how long you want to run the test, and it gives you the option of seconds, minutes, hours. Okay, and then once you got that, you want to tell it how often you want it to check. So that's where the per comes into play. So just like with the span, you set your parameters, and again, you got seconds, you got minutes, and you got hours. So in this case, we will say for 30 hours, which is the length of the test. Every 5 minutes, you check the system as a whole, see what it's doing, and it'll record it for you, and then you can give it an ID and the like. And again, like I said, you can sync it as many devices that you have, so you can kind of see what your system's doing, over time. And then you could take that information, and once you save it on here, upload it to your computer, and it will set it up on a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and so you can print out the results that way. Great device to have. And again, like I said, with all Fieldpiced items, one of my few gripes is the fact that the manual. Now, out of all the Fieldpiced devices, this manual has the most pages whatsoever. I mean, it has the most pages out of all their devices. But just like with all their manuals, it only tells you how things work. Okay, that's about it. It tells you what each button does, how to perform each one of the tests, and that is it. It doesn't go into any detail about anything extra that you can do with this device. So again, that falls back, naturally on the technician to figure out how they can make this device work for themselves. And that's the key thing. Figure out how you can make this work for yourself, if it'll work for you at all, because it may not work for you, but it may work for someone else. Now, what I've learned to use with this HVAC guide, again, like in one of my other videos, I sync it with my S-Man 4 manifold gauge, so I can verify what the pressures are doing outside while I'm inside the house. Or let's say if I charge the system up with nitrogen and I want to see if it's holding, but I don't want to wait there and wait to see if the pressure drops. So I charge it up with nitrogen, allows me to go inside the house, tidy up, button up, finish what I'm doing on the inside, and while I'm doing that, I can verify if the pressures are steadily dropping. Okay, and also too, if I'm pulling the vacuum and I use the micro gauge on the manifold itself, I can sync it with this, and then while I'm working inside, I can see whether or not if a vacuum is still steadily being pulled. And if anything's wrong, I can stop what I'm doing and actually go outside. The other feature that I like about this HVAC guide is CFMs. Now, with this thing here, it helps you calculate CFMs, to a point. Now, you still will need to know whether or not, let's say with this thing, you can measure the airflow coming out of a register, or airflow going into a return. Now, according to the instructions, you have to find out what the manufacturer's free area is on that particular grill or register. And if you don't know, the cool thing about this thing right here that Fieldpiced has done, which I'm going to show you here in a second. Let me see here. Now, here it says grill number 1. You can do up to, I believe, 13 grills. And then ID, of course, is the customer information, or if you want to identify the grill by room area, you can do that. Flow gives you the option to say supply, or, if I'm not mistaken, if I can, hold on here. Supply. Now it doesn't want to work for me. Okay, there we go. Return. There we go. Here we go. Return. Supply. Okay. So depending on what you're measuring, definitely make sure that it's selected inside the HVAC guide. And so this we'll say supply and manufacturer's data. Okay. So here is where you go in and you will enter in none if there aren't any manufacturer's information, no corrections. Free area in square feet. So again, like I said, the free area in square feet based on the manufacturer's literature, you can punch it in, and then from there it will help you calculate the CFM. But now, let's say, for example, you don't have the free area or the manufacturer's information. Fieldpiced gives you the option to have this thing here called Fieldpiced defaults. So hit enter. And then you go into type of grill, hit enter, and then you see one-way grill, two-way grill, three-way, four-way supply, ceiling diffuser, let me see, round ceiling diffuser, rectangular ceiling diffuser, square ceiling diffuser, rectangular floor, rectangular curved blades, and the like. So it has a lot of defaults that you can select. And once you make that selection, which I'm just going to just do for demonstration purposes only, hit enter. And then here's where you will punch in the length and width of the grill itself. So once you punch that information in, which I'm going to do in a second, here I'm just going to just make up something. Take it away from the camera 1 second. I just want to see. Much easier to do this way. Let me hold on. Oops. Wrong way. Bear with me here. I'm trying to. Okay. Alright, now what I did here, let me get the focus first. Alright, I did pretty much a 10 by 8 rectangular one-way supply register. Okay, now it automatically gives me the free area, which is 0.39 square feet. So now from that point, okay, I get either do it this way, which, as you can see, is very big, very cumbersome, or you get the get the accessory head, and again, with two hands, and according to the instructions, while you're doing your measurement, okay, use your right angle to hit measuring points on a register. So let's say, this is 10 by 8, so let's say every, maybe say 2 inches, what have you, you hit the right arrow button, mark a measuring point, mark another, mark another, mark another. So you can keep on going until you get to the very one, and then hit enter, and then it will calculate your CFM for you. Okay, very nice, useful, handy tool. I tried this out on my on a couple of my registers at home, and for the most part, it works great. Now with this accessory head, if you're going to measure the register, I'll show you here in a second. If you're going to measure anything, it's best to do it. Let's get a little closer. There we go. It's best to measure in real time. If you try to do it in average mode, you would get all types of crazy numbers and stuff like that. And then you have the option to do it, metric or English. And then this anemometer not only measures feet and meters per second, but miles per hour and kilometers per hour. And then you can also measure temperature. Okay. Now, only drawback to that is if you can call a drawback whenever you're using the AAV3 anemometer head. When it comes to calculating your CFMs and what have you, you can only leave the selection dial on one setting at a time. Okay, so unlike, let's say, with the Testo 435, you can measure the CFMs and the velocity and temperature. You can see all the information all at once. And unfortunately, with this HVAC guide, you can't do that yet. Now, only other thing that I'm not a big fan of, but again, it is what it is with the device, is how you input information. Let me see here. Let's do check me here. Let me see, how can I save this? Output. Oh, let's go back. Let me see. Does it give me? Okay, here we go. All right, now I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Now here where it says customer 98771. Now if you want to enter customer ID, okay, naturally you hit new, or you select something that you saved before. So basically, that's the input. So you have to scroll through the arrows and stuff like that, to find the letter alphabet that you want, and then hit enter and keep going, so forth and so on. And then when you're done, you come down here to where it says enter, to save it. Okay. Now again, it is what it is with the device. I mean, I wish the display could be a little bit better. And also what I tried to do as an experiment was to create a few files here on the HVAC guide and then upload it onto my computer. And when you upload any file that you save on your HVAC guide, it puts on two files on your computer. One is the Excel format that allows you to view your measurements and the like, and the other one is actual, ID file that the HVAC guide can create itself. So basically, when you export or import information off of this device, you have two files to deal with. So if you don't have that ID file that the HVAC guide creates, it won't recognize it if you try to import it back in. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a few files on here, export it from here and import it into my computer, create some more profiles and what have you, and then bring them back to the HVAC guide. But because I didn't have that ID file that this created, I wasn't able to import those new Excel files, back onto here. So, again, that's the only drawback. I mean, to each his own. You can still write the information down, but like I say, if the interface could be a little bit more, efficient in terms of the way you enter it, because to me, beep 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 beep, especially if you're trying to type an address, or like say if you're data logging several different registers, you're trying to ID, a register, hallway register, living room register, bedroom register. I mean, granted, you can use little acronyms that only you can understand, but it does get kind of tedious, and the like. But outside of that, it is a very useful tool in other ways. And again, like I said before, when it comes to the superheating and subcooling, once you put in your information, it will tell you if you're on target, or if you're not on target. And if you're not on target, here are some things you can check out to see if this is what's causing the problem. And any information when it gives to you, as far as output format, it will refer to it, in the booklet. So let's say, you may see on your display 5.507 undercharged air refrigerator to obtain 6 degrees of superheat, okay, or 5.506. So anything that this HVAC guide diagnosis, it will give you a reference point in your manual, so you can kind of like go back and check it and the like. And again, like I said, the backlight is very, very helpful. Battery life is excellent for the most part. Batteries do last a long time. It only uses one 9-volt battery, I believe. I'm sorry, no, 6 AA's. I'm sorry, yeah, 6 AA's. 6 AA's lasts a very long time. Range is very good. And then also too, at the bottom, you have your micro USB port, and I think also a power adapter port if you want to use power that way. So that is it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, feel free to send it to me. I'll be happy to answer. Oh, and another thing I meant to mention. I just happened to see this accessory clamp head. This is the ACH4. Now, naturally with this, you can use it, to measure the measure the current, across any wire. And another cool thing is, which I'm still trying to figure out by trial and error, is that this thing here can tell you your inrush current. You can't set it up to tell you your inrush current. Because last night I tried to use, I used the AC clamp head and the HVAC guide, and I was able to read inrush current. But then when I tried to attach my AC clamp head to a wireless transmitter, I couldn't get the readings that I was looking for. So I'm not sure whether or not if it's a delay issue or if there's an issue or there's something special that I have to do with the transmitter versus having the AC clamp head on top of the HVAC guide itself. Now, the cool thing is, if I want to verify the amperage on a blower motor, okay, while the blower door is closed, because naturally when we check for amperage, naturally the blower door is open, and and obviously we can't close the blower door and try to be able to read the amperage of a blower motor. This is a very nice thing to have. So normally what I do is I would put the AC clamp accessory head on top of the transmitter, and after you clamp it to the wire at the blower motor, and then I'll set my HVAC guide to data logger, okay, and in a data logger mode, it allows me to see, what the amperage is doing. And for the most part, I don't worry about trying to fill in all this information right here. I just come down here to set ID. Just come down to start. Oops, go back. Okay. I just come down to start, sync it, and then I can get my amp readings, okay, from this. And one thing that I've learned, which I will demonstrate in another video, is that when you have your blower door open, okay, and you're measuring the amperage on your blower motor, your amps will go up, okay, it will go up. And when you close your blower door, your amps drop back down, okay. And at first that kind of threw me off, because it kind of seemed kind of backwards, But then I realized that any type of restriction that goes on in your system, whether it be the blower door closing and you build up your static pressure, or if you have built up on your return filter, will cause the amps on your motor to go down, okay. And if you either remove the clogged filter or remove the clogged filter and remove the blower door, your amps will go back up. And I had talking about that with another technician. He said, yeah, that's exactly what happens when you have a restriction. Your amps go down with your blower motor, and when you have less restriction, your amps go up. So I was able to verify that, and that's a very nice thing to have, especially if you're doing tune-ups, or again, if you're doing this overall system check. You got to check the unit under the conditions that it's going to be. And if the blower door is going to be closed, you actually have to have the blower door closed. And again, the signal strength is very well, and it works through the blower compartment, so I can read everything on the fly instantly when the amps change. And that is it. So again, if you have any more questions about it, feel free to email me. I'd be happy to answer. And enjoy your day.